That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is fair.
Trigger Talents course covers the mandated curriculums of Illinois and Florida. Our facility allows for a safe, professional, comfortable in any weather shooting environment. We utilize a variety of law enforcement targets to illustrate the best shot placement for stopping threats. Our advanced course, CCW Plus, is the only in the state to offer training from a real vehicle in road rage, carjacking, and parking lot scenarios. Over 1,400 people have trusted Trigger Talent to be their choice in concealed carry and advanced instruction. Shouldn't you also?
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
It's warm outside now, but cold weather will be here soon. Protect your home and save money with Eagle Board premium vinyl siding from Eagle Home Improvement. Each Eagle Board panel covers twice the area of conventional siding. That means less air seeps into your home and you keep more money in your pocket. Eagle Board's beauty and performance will last a lifetime. Call Eagle Home Improvement at 259-2500 for a free no-obligation estimate. Eagle Home Improvement, where integrity counts.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
One of the greatest myths about car dealers is that some pay less for their cars than others. Hi, I'm John Roberts, and we all pay the same. Here at Roberts Motors, we can compete with any Ford dealer, regardless of how big they are or how great they say their deals are. The number one concern of anyone buying a car today is service. At Roberts Motors, we pride ourselves in exceptional service before, after, and during the sale. Stop in today and see why Roberts has been the home of happy customers since 1949, or see us online at RiverBender.com.
Calc Institute of Technology is working for you with career programs for today's jobs. As a career student, you can expect a welcoming atmosphere with exceptional personal service, small classes with one-on-one attention, a set class schedule, and short-term programs that will get you into the workforce quickly. Calc has 2 locations for your convenience located in both Alton and Fairview Heights. For more information, visit Calc online at www.calc.edu.
Trust Family Auto Sales and Cycles focuses on providing you with the highest quality used vehicles in the Riverbend. Before hitting the lot, all cars are thoroughly inspected and serviced in our very own repair shop. We make sure your future vehicle will look like it just came off the assembly line. We have a massive selection of cars with price ranges to fit any budget, and our motorcycles look like they just came off the showroom floor. Trust can finance any credit situation and have you on the road in no time. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, van, SUV, hybrid, or motorcycle, Trust Family Auto Sales has you covered.
Slow turning down.
Slow turning down. So,
I'm more of a concern.
You're more concerned. So, all right, a little background. So, John and I met a while back.
That's Tuesday.
So,
slow turning down.
Slow turning down. So,
I'm more of a concern.
You're more concerned. So, all right, a little background. So, John and I met a while back.
That's Tuesday.
So just, we were going to talk about topics that are hot button topics. We'll let you expand this out and look at your questions and call anything. John's friends will be able to do it. But I don't have anything.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State
Slow turn me down.
Slow turn me down. So,
I'm more concerned.
You're more concerned. So, all right, a little background.
Halpin Music Company is so much more than just a music products retailer. We do have great products at great prices, but we've been long known for our exceptional customer service, our friendly sales staff, and highly trained, experienced repair technicians. We have great and talented music instructors, students young and old alike, all age groups. So I invite you to come to Halpin Music Company and experience the Halpin Music Company difference.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Trigger Talent's course covers the mandated curriculums of Illinois and Florida. Our facility allows for a safe, professional, comfortable in any weather shooting environment. We utilize a variety of law enforcement targets to illustrate the best shot placement for stopping threats. Our advanced course, CCW Plus, is the only in the state to offer training from a real vehicle in road rage, carjacking, and parking lot scenarios. Over 1,400 people have trusted Trigger Talent to be their choice in concealed carry and advanced instruction. Shouldn't you also?
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
It's warm outside now, but cold weather will be here soon. Protect your home and save money with Eagle Board premium vinyl siding from Eagle Home Improvement. Each Eagle Board panel covers twice the area of conventional siding. That means less air seeps into your home and you keep more money in your pocket. Eagle Board's beauty and performance will last a lifetime. Call Eagle Home Improvement at 259-2500 for a free no-obligation estimate. Eagle Home Improvement, where integrity counts.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
One of the greatest myths about car dealers is that some pay less for their cars than others. Hi, I'm John Roberts, and we all pay the same. Here at Roberts Motors, we can compete with any Ford dealer, regardless of how big they are or how great they say their deals are. The number one concern of anyone buying a car today is service. At Roberts Motors, we pride ourselves in exceptional service before, after, and during the sale. Stop in today and see why Roberts has been the home of happy customers since 1949, or see us online at RiverBender.com.
Calc Institute of Technology is working for you with career programs for today's jobs. As a career student, you can expect a welcoming atmosphere with exceptional personal service, small classes with one-on-one attention, a set class schedule, and short-term programs that will get you into the workforce quickly. Calc has 2 locations for your convenience, located in both Alton and Fairview Heights. For more information, visit Calc online at www.calc.edu.
Trust Family Auto Sales and Cycles focuses on providing you with the highest quality used vehicles in the Riverbend. Before hitting the lot, all cars are thoroughly inspected and serviced in our very own repair shop. We make sure your future vehicle will look like it just came off the assembly line. We have a massive selection of cars with price ranges to fit any budget, and our motorcycles look like they just came off the showroom floor. Trust can finance any credit situation and have you on the road in no time. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, van, SUV, hybrid, or motorcycle, Trust Family Auto Sales has you.
Halpin Music Company is so much more than just a music products retailer. We do have great products at great prices, but we've been long known for our exceptional customer service, our friendly sales staff, and highly trained, experienced repair technicians. We have great and talented music instructors, students young and old alike, all age groups. So I invite you to come to Halpin Music Company and experience the Halpin Music Company difference.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Trigger Talent's course covers the mandated curriculums of Illinois and Florida. Our facility allows for a safe, professional, comfortable in any weather shooting environment. We utilize a variety of law enforcement targets to illustrate the best shot placement for stopping threats. Our advanced course, CCW Plus, is the only in the state to offer training from a real vehicle in road rage, carjacking, and parking lot scenarios. Over 1,400 people have trusted Trigger Talent to be their choice in concealed carry and advanced instruction. Shouldn't you also?
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
It's warm outside now, but cold weather will be here soon. Protect your home and save money with Eagle Board premium vinyl siding from Eagle Home Improvement. Each Eagle Board panel covers twice the area of conventional siding. That means less air seeps into your home and you keep more money in your pocket. Eagle Board's beauty and performance will last a lifetime. Call Eagle Home Improvement at 259-2500 for a free no-obligation estimate. Eagle Home Improvement, where integrity counts.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
One of the greatest myths about car dealers is that some pay less for their cars than others. Hi, I'm John Roberts, and we all pay the same. Here at Roberts Motors, we can compete with any Ford dealer, regardless of how big they are or how great they say their deals are. The number one concern of anyone buying a car today is service. At Roberts Motors, we pride ourselves in exceptional service before, after, and during the sale. Stop in today and see why Roberts has been the home of happy customers since 1949, or see us online at RiverBender.com.
Calc Institute of Technology is working for you with career programs for today's jobs. As a career student, you can expect a welcoming atmosphere with exceptional personal service, small classes with one-on-one attention, a set class schedule, and short-term programs that will get you into the workforce quickly. Calc has 2 locations for your convenience located in both Alton and Fairview Heights. For more information, visit Calc online at www.calc.edu.
Trust Family Auto Sales and Cycles focuses on providing you with the highest quality used vehicles in the Riverbend. Before hitting the lot, all cars are thoroughly inspected and serviced in our very own repair shop. We make sure your future vehicle will look like it just came off the assembly line. We have a massive selection of cars with price ranges to fit any budget, and our motorcycles look like they just came off the showroom floor. Trust can finance any credit situation and have you on the road in no time. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, van, SUV, hybrid, or motorcycle, Trust Family Auto Sales has you covered.
Covers the mandated curriculums of Illinois and Florida. Our facility allows for a safe, professional, comfortable in any weather shooting environment. We utilize a variety of law enforcement targets to illustrate the best shot placement for stopping threats. Our advanced course, CCW Plus, is the only in the state to offer training from a real vehicle in road rage, carjacking, and parking lot scenarios. Over 1,400 people have trusted Trigger Talent to be their choice in concealed carry and advanced instruction. Shouldn't you also?
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
It's warm outside now, but cold weather will be here soon. Protect your home and save money with Eagle Board premium vinyl siding from Eagle Home Improvement. Each Eagle Board panel covers twice the area of conventional siding. That means less air seeps into your home and you keep more money in your pocket. Eagle Board's beauty and performance will last a lifetime. Call Eagle Home Improvement at 259-2500 for a free no-obligation estimate. Eagle Home Improvement, where integrity counts.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
One of the greatest myths about car dealers is that some pay less for their cars than others. Hi, I'm John Roberts, and we all pay the same. Here at Roberts Motors, we can compete with any Ford dealer, regardless of how big they are or how great they say their deals are. The number one concern of anyone buying a car today is service. At Roberts Motors, we pride ourselves in exceptional service before, after, and during the sale. Stop in today and see why Roberts has been the home of happy customers since 1949, or see us online at RiverBender.com.
Calc Institute of Technology is working for you with career programs for today's jobs. As a career student, you can expect a welcoming atmosphere with exceptional personal service, small classes with one-on-one attention, a set class schedule, and short-term programs that will get you into the workforce quickly. Calc has 2 locations for your convenience located in both Alton and Fairview Heights. For more information, visit Calc online at www.calc.edu.
Trust Family Auto Sales and Cycles focuses on providing you with the highest quality used vehicles in the Riverbend. Before hitting the lot, all cars are thoroughly inspected and serviced in our very own repair shop. We make sure your future vehicle will look like it just came off the assembly line. We have a massive selection of cars with price ranges to fit any budget, and our motorcycles look like they just came off the showroom floor. Trust can finance any credit situation and have you on the road in no time. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, van, SUV, hybrid, or motorcycle, Trust Family Auto Sales has you covered.
Halpin Music Company is so much more than just a music products retailer. We do have great products at great prices, but we've been long known for our exceptional customer service, our friendly sales staff, and highly trained, experienced repair technicians. We have great and talented music instructors, students young and old alike, all age groups. So I invite you to come to Halpin Music Company and experience the Halpin Music Company difference.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is fair.
Trigger Talent's course covers the mandated curriculums of Illinois and Florida. Our facility allows for a safe, professional, comfortable in any weather shooting environment. We utilize a variety of law enforcement targets to illustrate the best shot placement for stopping threats. Our advanced course, CCW Plus, is the only in the state to offer training from a real vehicle in road rage, carjacking, and parking lot scenarios. Over 1,400 people have trusted Trigger Talent to be their choice in concealed carry and advanced instruction. Shouldn't you also?
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
It's warm outside now, but cold weather will be here soon. Protect your home and save money with Eagle Board premium vinyl siding from Eagle Home Improvement. Each Eagle Board panel covers twice the area of conventional siding. That means less air seeps into your home and you keep more money in your pocket. Eagle Board's beauty and performance will last a lifetime. Call Eagle Home Improvement at 259-20.
Welcome to Claywell Asset Management, an independent firm. Whether you're an individual, family, or business, we can assist you in helping you achieve your financial dreams. Claywell Asset Management and Raymond James, partners in your success in serving Riverbend investors for over 30 years. Member FINRA and SIPC.
At Midwest Members Credit Union, you are important. We work hard to ensure you have the best banking experience possible. Whether you are inquiring about opening a savings account or wanting to learn more about a loan, our professionals are here to help you with any questions, and we will walk you through every step of the process. Since opening our doors in 1935, we've never forgotten that our members are our most important asset, which is why we continue to excel. For all your banking needs, Midwest Members is the one place to go.
Announcer mic on.
Is that me? See, that's not me. That doesn't work. So you can't ever hear me. Test.
And then guest one.
That's me. That's boom, boom,
You
boom.
might want to
Test. I can hear John. I can't hear me. This is.
Say something, Brian.
Check.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but you can't hear me through the mic.
Oh yeah. I can hear you over here.
Can you?
Yeah. Try it
How
again.
come I can't hear it?
Your phone's turned down enough over there.
What do you mean?
Far right knob.
Okay, well, I can hear me now, but I don't think I'm hearing me through my mic. I think I'm hearing me through his mic, because there's no difference. No, none at all. This mic has never worked. That's the one that makes the noise. How about now?
You're on. We're doing a little mic test.
Oh, are we live? Oh. Well, welcome. We might disagree.
We're going to come back after a break.
So, sorry, we're doing a little mic check. We've done some reworkings in here, and we're trying to give you better quality sound. Hopefully we'll be in color as well.
You're looking good tonight.
We're looking good tonight. So, did you run the... oh, yeah, you did. I can see it now.
No, we'll be back in a couple commercials.
All right, so we're going to do a commercial, and we'll be right back, okay?
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
It's warm outside now, but cold weather will be here soon. Protect your home and save money with Eagle Board premium vinyl siding from Eagle Home Improvement. Each Eagle Board panel covers twice the area of conventional siding. That means less air seeps into your home and you keep more money in your pocket. Eagle Board's beauty and performance will last a lifetime. Call Eagle Home Improvement at 259-2500 for a free no-obligation estimate. Eagle Home Improvement, where integrity counts.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
One of the greatest myths about car dealers is that some pay less for their cars than others. Hi, I'm John Roberts, and we all pay the same. Here at Roberts Motors, we can compete with any Ford dealer, regardless of how big they are or how great they say their deals are. The number one concern of anyone buying a car today is service. At Roberts Motors, we pride ourselves in exceptional service before, after, and during the sale. Stop in today and see why Roberts has been the home of happy customers since 1949, or see us online at RiverBender.com.
Calc Institute of Technology is working for you with career programs for today's jobs. As a career student, you can expect a welcoming atmosphere with exceptional personal service, small classes with one-on-one attention, a set class schedule, and short-term programs that will get you into the workforce quickly. Calc has 2 locations for your convenience located in both Alton and Fairview Heights. For more information, visit Calc online at www.calc.edu.
Trust Family Auto Sales and Cycles focuses on providing you with the highest quality used vehicles in the Riverbend. Before hitting the lot, all cars are thoroughly inspected and serviced in our very own repair shop. We make sure your future vehicle will look like it just came off the assembly line. We have a massive selection of cars with price ranges to fit any budget, and our motorcycles look like they just came off the showroom floor. Trust can finance any credit situation and have you on the road in no time. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, van, SUV, hybrid, or motorcycle, Trust Family Auto Sales has you covered. Welcome to Claywell Asset Management, an independent firm. Whether you're an individual, family, or business, we can assist you in helping you achieve your financial dreams. Claywell Asset Management and Raymond James, partners in your success in serving Riverbend investors for over 30 years. Member FINRA and SIPC.
At Midwest Members Credit Union, you are important. We work hard to ensure you have the best banking experience possible. Whether you are inquiring about opening a savings account or wanting to learn more about a loan, our professionals are here to help you with any questions, and we will walk you through every step of the process. Since opening our doors in 1935, we've never forgotten that our members are our most important asset, which is why we continue to excel. For all your banking needs, Midwest Members is the one place to go.
Slow journey down.
Slow journey down. So
I'm more of a concern.
You're more concerned. So, all right, a little background. So John and I met a while back.
As you do say.
So just, we were going to talk about topics that are hot button topics. We'll eventually expand this out into Facebook Live and look at your questions and call them. John's friends will be able to do it. But I don't have
All right, welcome to We Might Disagree. The official start of our show is now 6:41. So, good evening, John.
Hi, how's it going, Brian?
Brilliant. Hello, Mr. Producer.
Hello there.
You cannot see our producer, but he is in a very nice shirt, tie. Step into the camera. Step in and just show everybody what you've got. A little more. Now, come on, a little more. There you go. There's his tie. So, dressed up. The show's taken off. So, a couple start-off things. I want to start off with the shirt that I'm wearing. And this is honoring and respect for, and you can see it here, I'll stand up, you can kind of see the flag with the blue line in it, and it's in the back, it's for Officer Schneider. Place that I go to, Iron House CrossFit, we did a workout in honor of him. We raised, I believe, it was just over $5,000.
Good job.
Yeah, the family requested we give that money to Backstoppers. and we did so. And everything except for the cost of the shirt, which was an optional purchase, went to them. So it's a good turnout. Adam was Officer Blake's brother was able to attend and watch, so it was a good deal. That was fun.
And those Iron CrossFit people, they do a lot of good work for the community. So
They do.
if you're in the Alton Godfrey area and you're looking for a place to do CrossFit, I obviously do not. But
But you help. You come and help.
I do, but they're good people, and I think that we should put the word out for people to take a look at them if they're looking for that kind of thing.
They are extraordinary people. They we do a workout called Belchick that we do for my brother and in honor of him, and we put certain moves and reps together in sequence that are in line with my brother, date of birth, tours, day he was killed, and so forth. Anyway, we raise money for that. And John always comes down and helps us work, and because it's pretty busy, we get about 100 athletes in there working out, and it gets kind of chaotic. And so for all of you on Facebook who spend most of your time hating each other, that's kind of how this show spawned, because John and I will go back and forth, and you guys watch us, and then we're at the box working out, and he's helping out, and then we're here laughing and arguing. So you got to put that stuff down at some point, man. So,
right.
And then, I do want to, on a personal note for both of us, have a close friend of ours that lost a brother the other day to heroin. And some of you may have saw my post on Facebook. I didn't say the name because it doesn't matter. But I'll be honest with you, John, this heroin thing, I'm angry about it. I mean, I'm angry. This has hit my family hard. And this heroin doesn't just kill a person, it rips families apart. I mean, it's evil. It's evil, and I don't know, man. My heart and prayers are with that family, and I just tell you this, and I will go on the air and say it: you better keep that crap away from my kids.
Yeah.
I won't. It's horrible. So,
I mean, for me, it's hard for me to get my brain wrapped around heroin. I don't pretend that I understand it. I know it's a highly addictive substance, and I grew up in an era where everybody was shooting it up, and I never understood why somebody would inject themselves with a drug. But apparently, it's got all kinds of forms, and you can smoke it and do all kinds of things.
Snort it.
And and I know this is a political show, and people aren't tuning in to hear this message. But if just one person hears this and doesn't take up heroin, it's worth it. It's one of those things that if you think you're better than heroin, you're not. Mm-hmm. It's going to get you in the end. And the particular person we're referring to, thought he had kicked it, and had spent several months. I think was, at least from all outward appearances, was clean, and apparently thought, well, maybe just one more time. And we were talking in off air the other day about Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah. The man has all the money in the world, all the fame, all the accolades. His life is easy street. Everything's going his way, and the man decides to do heroin. And to me, I don't get it. I, like you, also have an addictive personality, so I don't mess with stuff like that. To me, it's like taking the cork out of the bottle with the genie. You don't know what's going to happen, and once that genie comes out, ain't going back in.
A couple things that I've got a family member of mine, close family member of mine, somebody, and I'm proud of him. He's battling today. He's a year, I believe almost a year now sober, but he no longer lives in the state. He had to move away, which I think was good. But it starts out with pain medication for some people, and these doctors, and I was telling you, I've had, for you don't know me, I get hurt a lot, so I've had like 11 surgeries. And the first thing they want to do is prescribe Vicodin to me, and I'm like, I don't want Vicodin. And and I was thinking about this today, and again, we're going to get into politics in a minute, but we both decided we were going to touch on this because this is tragic, and people, you got to man up, man. You can't take a pain pill every time you get an ache. When you break a bone, that hurts. Unless it's your femur, which is an extreme bone to break. My son, who was here a couple weeks ago, Aiden, scored 3 goals in soccer on a broken foot. We didn't even know he broke it. He just got his boot off the other day. And I'm proud of my kids. I don't suggest go play soccer on a broken bone. But my thing is, you don't take a pain pill because you have an ache. You've got to understand these pain pills are no joke. Take an aspirin or something, because that's what happened to my family member. It started out with Vicodin, then it went to OxyContin, and then when the doctors cut him off, It was heroin, and now, it's twice he's almost lost his life. And then what I also see is these people, when I'm learning, and I'm learning this, I'm really learning a lot about it, is that they go off the drug, then they go back to the drug, and they do the same dose that they used to do, and their body's not able to do that. It'd be like an alcoholic who's used to drinking a fifth of vodka or a fifth of Jack Daniels in a day, not drinking for a year, then going hitting that full fifth. You're not going to be able to handle it. So any family member, I put a thing on my Facebook page. I believe I put it on our page as well for bracelets that somebody's doing. That's another family member of mine that's hitting my family a couple different ways. Anyway, so if you can do something, we're going to put something together. I'm sure we're going to do something. I think the biggest disappointment about it is that nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it.
And that's one thing that I wanted to address, which is, it used to be considered kind of a ghetto drug, that only the down and out people who were on some down spiral would do it. But heroin's striking middle class America, upper class America. There is no place in America where it doesn't happen. And
nope.
People need to talk about it. We have to get past our embarrassment and say, you know what, this is a widespread problem, and we need to address it and take that stigma away.
I agree. I think it falls right in line with suicide.
Yeah.
Both of those things are up in America. Suicides are up, and heroin deaths are up, and I don't understand it. And I know we're just two little guys in a little room, but hopefully we can find a way to make an impact. And I got a feeling that if John and I put our mind to it, we're going to make an impact.
Yeah. And we're going to. We should have a special show.
We will.
And particularly if there's people in our audience that have expertise, please reach out to us. I'd love to have you on the show to talk about it. It's not a subject that I have much expertise on. I would like to talk about depression. I suffer from depression, and I've actually considered suicide and actually attempted it once. It's not something I've ever said publicly before, but I get that. I don't understand heroin, but both of those things suffer from the same thing, which is a lot of stigma. And I think it's important for people in some station in life, whether it's somebody with a podcast show or somebody that's a manager of a store or whatever your station in life, I think that people need to come forward and say, hey, this affects everybody. And it is, both of them are devastating. So
it is. And and this particular person we're speaking about, I just spoke to him the other day, and I had no idea that he had been battling this. And
right.
Because it wasn't something that was made public. And just to tell you that you can't look at somebody and say, this is somebody that I've known for 30 years, and I couldn't look at this man and know that he was battling this. So my heart is with his family right now, and it's heavy and it's sad. And again, I'm watching a friend of mine bury a little brother, and I know what that's like, and that's something that you just never recover from. And all right, before I melt down here, let's get on it. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do the break. We'll be right back when we politics.
You walk onto this campus and it feels as though you're at an Ivy League institution.
It is cultured in so many ways. You would never know that it is a 2-year college.
This place is truly amazing. I love going to school here.
It is definitely not like any other community college.
If you're looking for a way for your life to change, then Lewis and Clark is the place for you to be.
Welcome to Claywell Asset Management, an independent firm. Whether you're an individual, family, or business, we can assist you in helping you achieve your financial dreams. Claywell Asset Management and Raymond James, partners in your success in serving Riverbend investors for over 30 years. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Bam, and we're back. All right, we might disagree. Okay, so monologue is over, and now we're going to talk the good stuff. And tonight we've got one more show we're going to do before the election, and I think we'll probably go heavy next Thursday because it'll be really close to the election. But I've been researching a lot about immigration. We've talked about it, and this is, I want to talk about immigration. I want to argue about immigration. I want to talk about it because I think Trump is on to something. And maybe not the way he goes. I'm still not down with the whole wall thing. So, and John, you know the laws far more than I do, so that's why
I've actually represented people in a couple of immigration situations.
Okay,
I'm not an expert, but I've dabbled into it, so I know a little bit.
So I wrote it all down on paper, and I didn't bring that paper with me, but I kind of wrote it down on paper. So when you come into the country legally, you come in, they document you. Excuse me, sorry about that, audience. You're so-and-so, this is your age, this is your family, this is your history, this is your background. So now we have a documentation. Then you go through the process of immunizations, whether you're you get shots, make sure you're healthy, we check all those things. After that, I believe you start learning English, you start learning the Constitution, you start learning the laws of the land, they teach you the workforce, how to enter the workforce. Obviously, there's some public assistance that goes to people, which I'm fine with that, to get them going in the right direction, because people come here from third world countries that don't have anywhere remotely, the richest don't have what our poorest have. So there's a process, and to me, when that illegal person comes in here, and this also doesn't just go for illegals. When people come in here through a, and I can't even name it now. They want to bring people in from Syria. What's that process?
Refugee process.
Refugee. Thank you. It's a shortened process. Okay, so to me, that's where I see the breakdown. When you look at 20 million illegal immigrants in the country, it's not that they're all bad people, and I don't believe that they all are bad. I would even probably go on a limb and say I don't even think 70, maybe 25% of them maybe you could fall into. Maybe that's even high.
I think that's way high.
Okay, so
I think we're probably talking about the 5%? People that are good 5% maybe, okay. And that's probably high, but okay.
Okay, yeah, well, just for a number.
Sure.
So, when people talk about amnesty and stuff, I'm supportive of that, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Because they're here, and if they're here and they're not causing problems, okay, we're talking 20 million people, we take 5% of that. I can't do the math, I don't have it in my head. It's not why would you want to take 19 million some people and throw them out of the country if they're being productive? When you could just give them and teach them this and let them learn this, and now they're a good citizen for our country. And maybe now they're not so angry. Maybe now they're not so disgruntled. Maybe now they're paying taxes too, by the way. And maybe now they're not having to get assistance. They can take care of themselves. And that's a short version of what I wrote down. I mean, I had like 2 pages of stuff, and it was too much for the show because I had the negative side of it too, And I think and I think we talked about it earlier with heroin. You look at Chicago. This is all drug driven, and it's all illegally being brought in through illegal immigration into the country. So, to me, immigration is a bigger picture than I think most of Americans, including myself, were looking at it prior to maybe a month and a half ago.
Well, I mean, I think that the people that argue that illegal immigration has a byproduct that depresses wages, I think there's some truth to that. I personally think that some of the impact on some of the lower level jobs, in terms of some of the most difficult manual labor jobs, such as agricultural, picking fruit and vegetables in a field. I think the experience in Alabama tells us that when you take a hard line on immigration, you're not going to have enough people in the field to pick the crops. I mean, those are facts.
That's pathetic. I mean, why? So let me ask you this: Why do you all think you're too good to pick?
Right.
I think that I got a family, man. I'll do whatever I got.
I think there is something to be said about the American work ethic, but I think
it's terrible.
Well, yes and no. In some pockets, there's still a lot of single moms out there working 2 and 3 jobs, and there are a lot of people working hard. So we don't want to besmirch everybody out there. There's a lot of people doing a lot of hard work, but there does seem there's an interesting differential between people our era and Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, whatever they're calling themselves these days, and I think they have a point to a limited extent, which is, look, in our generation and the generations preceding our generation, people had an honest shot to make a decent living. If you worked hard for a company, you could stay at that company your entire work career. You'd have a pension, you'd have a retirement, you'd have all these things. And what we saw, frankly, in the 80s and 90s and thereafter is you had these corporate mergers, and you had the raiding of pensions, and you had people, wide scale, people that had worked 18, 19, 20 years at a company being laid off. And I think the lesson that was taught to younger generations was that this whole romantic notion of going to work for a company and staying there and trying to work hard and move your way up, and then, and that if you did that, the company would take care of you. I think they took a hard look at that and said that isn't true anymore. And so why would I hitch my wagon to an organization that at the end of the day only has loyalty to shareholders and not to employees? So I think to some extent that has had some impact on the American work ethic.
I don't disagree with you. I've only had a couple jobs in my life. I haven't had a whole lot of jobs, but I went through. My grandpa worked at the power plant. He got on there after World War II. A lot of you may not know this, but my grandfather used to run the projector at the Starlight, and my uncle. Yeah, I know, right? And my uncle ran the projector at Alton Sene. So I got to see Grease like a whole summer for free, and Pete's Dragon. It was great because that's whenever I got with that. And then the Starlight, So the point was they both had a second job, but there was that one main job, And I remember going down the berm and seeing my grandpa. He ran the coal, the thing, and of course he ended up passing away in '81. But my last job, I left the company, but I'll tell you what, it was a really good company. They really put the employee first, and I'm gonna say who it is because I want to give them kudos for it. It's Home Depot. Mm-hmm. They really know how to treat their people, and
the companies that do, and
they do
Home
well.
Depot's not the only one. You have Costco, you have other companies, Virgin Airlines. Companies that have the philosophy that the greatest asset of a company are the employees. Those people. Those companies tend to do, I think, better in the marketplace.
They do because your employees stay longer. Right. Home Depot was fabulous to me. And it sounds silly. This sounds silly. It does. I'm 48 years old, but I would get a happy birthday card from my vice president.
Right.
And I know he didn't write it because. I sent them out to my associates too, and I didn't write it, but I had them in my calendar on my phone, and every day I'd call them or send them a text, or I'd go say hi to them and acknowledge them, and it does go a long way. And I see that because I still have relationships with those people, even though I haven't been there now for over a year, and so I think there's something to be said for it, and I think too that you're spot on what you said. The kids these days, they don't want to start out as a cashier and work their way up. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I was at 30 years old. I was going through a divorce. I went to work for a company. It was Lowe's. I started in the lumber department, and I was a carpenter, and I was, carpenters make a lot of cash. So you can't do that. You got to have, when you're getting divorced, right, lawyer, you got to be able to present the money for the child support. So you had to have a job that showed I was paying taxes on. And, it was just one of those things where I progressed and I went all the way to store manager, and it's because all I did was work hard, show up every day, and do what was asked of me. And, it's still in America. It's still here. It's not totally gone. I know it's not everywhere. I do know that now. It's not everywhere. I can't say that about every company, but I know a lot of companies that will still, and for me, I like people that I can groom and teach and mold, and that company also taught me the value of an employee. People don't realize what it costs, to hire somebody and what it costs to lose somebody and then replace somebody. So when I left Home Depot, I left 16 years of home improvement retail, 10 years of carpentry experience. So 25 years of work experience in that particular field. I left it. They didn't replace that. They didn't. They replaced me with a great store manager. He's a good guy. I like him a lot, and he's good to the people. But he doesn't have that knowledge of our community, and he doesn't have what I had. And I think it makes a difference. So there is something to that. But millennials these days, man, it's just. They've put me through a class. I would be walking. So just to give you guys some idea how retail works these days, because it's really off the chains, man. I don't know how we got on retail out of immigration, but that's our show. First of all, everybody has to do the I-9 before they go to work at Home Depot. You got to be legal. So, but there's certain things that have to be in certain places, and I would be walking the front, and I'm monitoring this because if it's an Apple phone that has to be on the second end cap, they're paying X amount of dollars for that to be there, so that has to be there, and that's my job is to ensure that it's there. if I didn't say hi to some of these younger kids, they thought I was mad at them. And so I was getting these HR things going. I'm like, what? You know, I mean, you guys know me. I'm passionate, but I'm a pretty nice guy, you know. And so I had to make sure everyone, I'm like, hey, how you doing? High five. And it was really an
eye opener.
Yeah, and it was a bummer. It was a bummer. It's a big reason why I left, because people were just quitting right and left. They just don't want to work. They want the weekends off. They want to be, and I'm like, man, this doesn't work that way. I mean, you know, I always worked 2 and 3 jobs and done whatever I had to do to take care of my family and provide. And, you know, heck, as a store manager, I didn't have weekends off, you know? So, yeah, there's a different work ethic. And I'll be honest with you, some of the immigrant people that we do hire, I'd prefer them over most of the millennials that we hire. And I'm not saying every kid's bad. Don't start sending me Facebook hate mail, okay? I'm not saying that, okay? But broad brush, if you put 10 19-year-olds in front of me, 3 of them I'm going to keep, maybe. And, you know, I had one scenario, and it just wasn't with Home Depot, where the father called me and wanted to know why I terminated his kid. And I'm like, hey,
this tells me
I can't tell you that, but the fact that you're calling me answers your question, is what I said to him.
Right.
You know, so it's just one of those things that, you know, I try as a parent to be, you know, teach my kids the same things in work ethic, and I feel like I do a pretty good job of it. My kids get, you know, they get a pass too sometimes. We all get a pass, but I don't know, and I think that leads into our heroin conversation. It just leads into, these kids think they have it so rough. You know, I mean, we could tell some stories. I mean, we all heard, you know, uphill both ways in the snow. Hey, I worked at Food World in Monticello Plaza, which used to be Kroger. It got bought out by Food World. I'm dating myself now. I was living in Wickmore, and I would have to walk. And I remember I walked in the snow, down the train tracks, in the snow, home from work. I remember when there was like a foot of snow. This was back when we still had winters. And an Amtrak come by and just flipping buried me in snow, man. I was so mad because I was walking to work. And my dad's like, hey, it's your car. You didn't, you know, you're not keeping it up. It's parked. You know, so it was, now I learned, you know, change my oil all the time, you know. So I just don't think, and I did that with my kid. I wanted my kid to have everything I didn't have, and it doesn't work.
No, I've told people before, and sorry, Jack, if you're listening, but you know, I've told people that the best thing you can give your kids is almost nothing. I mean, give them food, shelter, love, encouragement, clothes on their back, you know, safe place to live. But other than that, the more you start giving kids, the worse impact it has.
It does.
And I've had the, you know, privilege, you want to call it that, of knowing some kids that have, you know, had some very wealthy parents, and it doesn't end well.
It doesn't. Let's take a quick break. We're at our 15 minutes, and we will get back on immigration and off of Home Depot when we get back. Be right back.
At Midwest Members Credit Union, you are important. We work hard to ensure you have the best banking experience possible. Whether you are inquiring about opening a savings account or wanting to learn more about a loan, our professionals are here to help you with any questions, and we will walk you through every step of the process. Since opening our doors in 1935, we've never forgotten that our members are our most important asset, which is why we continue to excel. For all your banking needs, Midwest Members is the one place to go.
Slow turning me down.
Slow turning me down. So,
I'm more of a concern.
You're more concerned. So, all right, a little background. So, John and I met a while back.
That's who said.
So, just, you know, we were going to talk about topics that are hot button topics. We'll eventually expand this out into Facebook and look at your questions and call in. John's friends will be able to do it. But I don't have to.
Calc Institute of Technology is working for you with career programs for today's jobs. As a career student, you can expect a welcoming atmosphere with exceptional personal service, small classes with one-on-one attention, a set class schedule, and short-term programs that will get you into the workforce quickly. Calc has 2 locations for your convenience, located in both Alton and Fairview Heights. For more information, visit Calc online at www.calc.edu.
Or we'll talk about it. Hey, we're back. All right, so got our Deja Blue Water and Dr. Pepper, so we're good to go. So
thank you, sponsors.
Yes. So thank you for our little talk. We got off rail. We tend to do that. So we're unscripted. It's just important to know that we kind of sit down and go, okay, we're going to talk about this. So back to immigration. So I think we do need to get a grip on it because we are losing some of our culture. I think it is creating more crime, and I think it's just an after effect. I don't think it's an intentional crime. At the end of the day, I believe people come here, they want to have a better life. When they come here illegally, first it shouldn't. I don't know why it costs so much to come here. I don't get that either. Maybe you can explain that, John. But we should welcome those people legally here, and I believe if we do that, they're going to be great Americans like all of us are.
I think everybody that has any involvement in the immigration system, the system where people become naturalized U.S. citizens, I think all of us would agree that the system is way too slow and takes way too long, which probably means you need to hire more people that work in that department. And if it's something that we take seriously, we should do it. And a lot of people, they make the argument, well, my great-grandfather, when he came to this country, they immigrated legally. Yeah, process took a matter of hours. It had some nominal fee involved, and there was minimal paperwork. Nowadays, you have to hire a lawyer. There probably are a handful of people that could do it themselves without a lawyer, but it's way too complicated, it's way too expensive, and way too lengthy. So I think if we streamline the processes for making people legal U.S. citizens, it would have dramatic impact on the numbers of people that tend to try to come here illegally. I personally think that they shouldn't get a leg up on the fact that they've come here legally, but I think they should be able to have a place in line. And the notion, and where I disagree with Mr. Trump, is the notion that somehow those people have to leave the United States and come back and then get in line doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense at all, and it's not going to happen.
No.
And I think for people in America that are passionate about Trump, and he obviously brings out the passion in people, and he does draw the crowds and people get riled up, put yourself in their shoes and have somebody tell you you have to go and then you have to come back. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make any sense, especially if you know where they're coming from. And I've encouraged people to watch that movie, Sicario, which is a brief glimpse into what's going on in the drug world in Mexico. I watched a thing the other day on, I believe it was History Channel on El Chapo. I mean, you're talking, let me tell you something, 8-9 murders a day. 8 to 9 murders a day. Now, how would you want to raise your children in that environment and just a few miles across the border, you don't have to deal with that, and you have protection, and you have rights, and so we need to really, I think, be adults about this and think about the way we be.
And a lot of decent people end up getting squeezed in the middle because they're forced to either join the drug culture gang or to work with the government, which is usually inept and corrupt itself. So if you don't want to choose either of those, the only option for you is to try to go to another country. Yeah. So can we really blame people for... I don't blame anyone for trying to come to America.
No.
I think the question really remains, what's an intelligent process to take these people who are coming to America and integrating them in a lawful and reasonable process so where they can be productive members of society? Because the thing that bothers me most, and why I'm so adamant about holding employers accountable, is that when people become illegal workers in a country, they're very prone to exploitation. I mean, in terms of their housing, most of the employers provide the housing, and they end up working but not really making any money because the employer provides, some substandard housing, and there's all kinds of very shady things going on that really nobody would want for our brothers or sisters or aunts and uncles, and if it's not good enough for us, if we wouldn't want that for our family, why would we tolerate that in our country for other people just because they strive for the same freedoms and opportunities that the rest of us want?
I agree. And just a devil's advocate, because I know there's some people out there that are passionate, that are side of this, we do have laws, and I agree. These people are breaking the law, and there needs to be something for that. But you got to remember too, we're kind of so what's his Johnson, who's running? He made a comment one day about banning AR-15s, and he said if I did that, I would instantly take 30 million people and make them criminals. I would never do that. So my point is, people are wanting to come here, and because of the laws we put in place and the restrictions and the costs and the expenses, we're forcing people to become criminals. And I know this sounds really liberal, maybe it is liberal, or maybe it's just common sense. You don't do
They're
that.
not mutually exclusive. They tend to travel in packs together.
Yeah, so we need to figure out how to make these people legal. Should there be some form of punishment? I don't know. I mean, I think if you take a good look at the way they're living in our country, that's probably punishment enough. I assure you, none of you that are watching it on an iPad right now are living the way they're living because you're watching it on an iPad. So, that's where I'm at with it, and I think that's just the Christian in me. You don't close a door on somebody. Yes. And I'll say this on the air. If it came down to me having to break the law to feed my wife and children, absolutely, it's not even a question. I'd do it. I mean, in a second, because people have a right to eat. And I just we got a problem, and I don't have an answer for it. And
one of the things that I want to talk about, maybe as a tangent that nobody really talks to, is that if we go about this process a little more intelligently, particularly the refugee process, we have widespread places in America where the population is, in effect, dwindling, and towns are basically becoming, some of these small towns are becoming extinct.
Right.
In part because what happens is kids go to high school, then they go to college somewhere else, and they never come back. And so we have these big swatches of America where there's no population. And so I think that those neighborhoods, I understand that there may be people in those neighborhoods that don't want a bunch of Syrian people being introduced in the neighborhood. But what they don't understand is that immigration, if it's done right, can be the lifeblood of a community.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the city of St. Louis, the Bosnian community. Now, some people may have a few problems here and there with the Bosnians, but there's no doubt.
Every community has its ups and its downs.
Right, but there's no doubt that the Bosnian community in St. Louis has anchored what would have been a city that would have been on life support but for the Bosnian
No
community.
question about it. If you go over there by where what's that mill?
Bevo Mill.
Bevo Mill. I mean, that place wouldn't even still be open if it weren't for the Bosnians, So, which if you haven't ever been to the Bevo Mill, you should go. It's good. It's good food, man. It's my wife's grandma, big German. That's man. We were there. She did pass away a few years ago, but that's where she loved to eat, man. And my father-in-law took her there all the time. And that's the time I've been there. So, yeah, I feel like that we're addressing it in a hateful way. We're addressing it in an anger way, and I put that on Trump because he's not good at delivering a message. He's horrible at delivering a message. But if you think about immigration, and I've thought a lot about this because I don't just, I try to come on here and present some common sense, common guy level, not overthink it, high education level. Just the guy.
That's my job.
That's your job. I'm bringing the ding dong. So, but at the same time too, we've got a lot of issues we got to fix to make these people legal. And I'm with you. They need to learn English. It really, really frustrates me that I can't communicate with people in English. And now I know this country doesn't have a set language. I get that. But it is, we do speak English here. And I think, it's rough on them too. But I think not knowing our Constitution, not understanding our laws, I think if we bring people in, they learn our country and what it's about. Go ahead.
On that one point, I think that every person who did not have to go through the naturalization process, didn't have to take the immigration test, and that thinks that they know the U.S. Constitution, and you can find it online, should take the test.
Yes.
I will tell you...
They know more than you.
They do, by far, and I would venture to say that probably 70% of your average Americans could not pass the naturalization test.
Oh, I don't think I could.
Because it's hard.
I've taken it, and it was about 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that, because it was coming up. I remember when I was working at Lowe's, they started putting up all the, stuff was in Spanish. It was, 12, 13 years ago when that all started. And I was, I was one of those, this is BS, and so I tried, and I was like, wow. Now, it had been a long time since I'd studied it. And I still try to study the Constitution because I seem to, every time I read it or work on learning on, I learn something new out of it. And I think too, as you grow older, certain words change. You see certain parts of the Constitution different as a 40-year-old than you do as a 20-year-old. I think free speech has changed. To me, free speech is what it is. I don't consider burning an American flag free speech. Now the Supreme Court has said that it is free speech, but I'll disagree all day. But I respect the Supreme Court's decision. But my point is, to me, free speech is that. But that's how open that the Constitution is to to talk about it. But yeah, take that test, and you can go online and do it. It's online. You can take it, and I would challenge, if you pass it, come on in and teach us something, because it's hard. So if you have an immigrant that that's legal, they probably are more up on America than you. It's probably why they have is more pride in America than most people do. But that's also why most of them are angry about the illegal immigration. And I have a couple friends that are legal immigrants, and they don't like it. They think but they don't support throwing people out of the country, right? Because they know what they're leaving from.
And you have to understand, as a matter of politics, that message that's conveyed rather inartfully by Mr. Trump about people that come here illegally, what people of color who have immigrated to this country, they feel like they're under attack. And, one thing that I did notice about my brief kind of foray into the immigration law work is that even though there were several people that went through the process legally, they all knew someone or had a family member, or several people knew several people that were not legal. In fact, part of, I think, the process that they sort of used, that some became legal and then those helped the others try to become legal. And so when you make blanket policy statements about, illegal immigration, you have to understand that people who are citizens of this country that have recently immigrated are going to take that it's going to be a very sensitive issue.
You have somebody talking about your family, you're going to defend,
right?
And you should, So yeah, and I think Trump is, well, I thought he had softened his tone on it. Then today, he mentioned again in another rally, he's building a wall. Listen, he's out. He's out for
I wanted to mention something just because I think it will sound very unusual to our audience. I've been watching a couple of brief snippets of Trump's speeches today and yesterday. And actually yesterday, his speech was, I thought, one of his best speeches that he'd given. And what was interesting about it is it wasn't at a rally. It was at his hotel. And, he was just talking in a rather normal tone. And one thing that I'll say about Trump that's, I think other people have had a similar experience, is that there are times when he can be charming. There are times when he seems to be very sensical. And then there are times when he just goes off on a tirade and does, 3 a.m. Twitter wars with the former Miss Universe. And you're like, how can we let this man be president? But I one thing that I try with respect to my credibility on issues is I try to give people that I disagree with the benefit of the doubt when they do something good. And I think, that liberals should perhaps take a look at his speech yesterday. I mean, he did come across as a reasonable person with reasonable insights, and I'm a little disappointed that it sounds like he fell off the wagon. You can keep him on the wagon for a certain period of time.
Well, you know what happens to him? Here's what happens to him. Because it happens to me. I mean, I don't have 40,000 people, in a rally, but you get into a group and you start feeling that flow. You know what I mean? And we got to remember, this guy's not a politician. He's an entertainer. He's a businessman. He's been in TV. He rolls off of that. He feeds off of that. And I don't worry about that in the White House, because we all know, and if you don't know, the president doesn't make a lot of decisions. There's chief of staff. There's a lot of players around.
Let me kind of explain just a little bit about that.
Dive into that. I don't think people get it.
I think what people have to understand is probably the most important person in government is the chief of staff, because the chief of staff makes the decision as to who gets to see the president and who doesn't, and that is the most important gatekeeping function in government.
Yep.
So, yeah, the chief of staff probably makes a lot of decisions and makes those decisions by saying, no, this is not important enough that we're going to wake the president up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I think there's probably a short list of things that are.
Should be anyway.
Yeah, yeah. But so, generally speaking, the president has some of the best and brightest minds in our country and that's one thing that needs to be said, is that we have people in government that are lifelong government workers, and I know everybody likes to laugh about government, how inefficient and corrupt and all that stuff, and it has its problems. But we have people that work in the intelligence community, we have people that work in the State Department, we have people that work in the Justice Department, we have people that work in Commerce, other places that are lifelong, dedicated public servants that have studied issues and have informed judgments far beyond what our presidents understand. And part of their job is then to bring this information to the president, and they outline what the options are. And yes, the president then has to make a choice. But generally he doesn't do that in a vacuum. And so he has some very bright people that weigh in on that stuff, and that's the greatest hope that the American people have to have for any president, is they surround themselves with good people, because and I love Jimmy Carter. I think he's one of the highest character presidents we've ever had.
He's a guy.
Very good man, but he tried to do too much himself. Yeah. And so we saw the results of what happens when you try to take on too much of that mantle yourself.
You got to let people, and just, you see my Trump Pence sign up here because I am voting Trump. I've switched, and it's because of the immigration, and I'll be willing to talk all day about it. I mean, it's not my first choice, but that's not what the show's about. We'll do that next week maybe. But what I will say is this, is that I like the people he has around him. You know what I mean? I like Rudy Giuliani. I'm a big Rudy Giuliani fan. You may not like Rudy Giuliani. And I love Newt Gingrich. I love Newt Gingrich. Yes, I do. I love Newt Gingrich. No. I do. See, these are people that I like. These are people that I resonate with. I mean, I like them because they're strong, and right now I don't perceive America as strong. We're not strong. The people, and luckily, with Hillary, we're not going to discuss too many emails because, we've been, just for the record, John's been crazy busy. Hasn't had a chance to get up, and I don't want to get into. If we're gonna have a conversation, I want it to be a good conversation, because otherwise it's not pointless. We're not CNN or Fox. So, but I'm finding out about the people that are around here, and they're not good character people. And I'm not saying Rudy Giuliani and Newt Gingrich are better, but I don't know that they're different. I haven't seen emails with them everywhere saying this crazy stuff. So, the people that are around Hillary are very concerning. They have integrity issues, and you can be a jerk, you can be rude, you can even be disrespectful, but if you're a person of integrity, I could probably tolerate you. If you say to me, whatever, but you say to me, I'm going to do this on Tuesday at 5, and that happens at 5, or you did something wrong, and you said, I did it, I respect that, because owning up to it is integrity, and that's where our politicians get lost. They don't have integrity, and now it's just, and then we're seeing really how bad it is, but the people that are around Trump right now, I'm not a big Chris Christie guy. I'm not, I never have been. And I think he's
of all of his people, I think he's probably the smartest.
Oh, he's definitely smart. No, I don't know if there's anybody smarter than Newt Gingrich on the planet. Or maybe he's just a great debater. That dude is brilliant.
I won't say that Newt Gingrich is stupid. I think there's a certain amount of brightness, but for me, the smarminess of Gingrich is such a heavy overlay that I can't get to whether he's smart or not.
Politically, he's very intelligent. His political IQ is got to be beyond high, because he can.
Although I do, now that we're talking about Newt Gingrich, because I know that you and I disagree on this, I think this would be an interesting subject for our show.
All right.
The Megyn Kelly thing. Yeah. I saw that. I was actually, for whatever reason, I was watching Fox News because I'm trying to.
You got to broaden it, man.
Well, what I'm interested in particular is if they have access to polls that aren't being reported and other things that have impact on the election. So I flip back and forth. I thought that Megyn Kelly handled that interview with Newt Gingrich. I thought, and I'm not a huge Megyn Kelly fan. I'm starting to warm up to her a little bit, but
it's like my comment I put on you. Of course, she's obviously liberal.
I don't think that she is.
You can't call Donald Trump a sexual predator.
I think
you cannot say that.
Let me just frame the issue.
That's what she said.
No, what she said specifically was, if these allegations are true, he's a sexual predator. That's what she specifically said.
No, she said if after the fact, if these are true, because Newt called her. I can pull it up. Maybe
I heard it live.
I did too, and then I went and found the tape and posted it because
she said if, and then she went back and said if again.
But here's the thing, and
she specifically said that she didn't know whether it was true or not, which I think is a position she has to take.
But I think what caught her in the end, where Newt got her and cornered her, was she wouldn't say it about Bill Clinton, and we know he is. If Trump is, so if we're going to categorize Donald Trump as a sexual predator, if these 11 allegations are true, I don't know if they are to be. I doubt it. Could be. Maybe I'm wrong. That's not the first time. But if we know that, then you got to say Bill Clinton is, because we know what's happening. He's been cold busted.
I think that her point was, I'm not going to let Newt Gingrich drive the dialogue of this interview by doing what Trump and his supporters have done all along, which is whenever they're under fire, and Clinton does the same thing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, everybody does.
But when Trump's under fire, they reach out for Bill Clinton. I mean,
on this issue,
in particular, this issue, but other issues,
you have to. It's only fair. He's gonna be in the White House. If she wins, Bill Clinton will be back in the White House, and he will be around interns again. That's a fact. You can't argue that. He's going to be, and we know what he does. We know that. Did you know that in his library there's a floor up above that you can't get to? It's got a penthouse in it. Did you know that, America? Did you know that? I don't know if Hillary knows it. Maybe she'll call and ask me, and I'll tell her. But we know what goes on up there. I mean, listen, Hillary Clinton.
You know what goes on in the penthouse?
That's the rumors. I hear rumors. Trump.
Oh, so you know rumors?
Well, what does it matter?
Right.
They're rumors, right? I mean, we hear rumors of. Maybe Hillary Clinton sexually assaulted me.
But I think what was lost on Newt Gingrich, and a lot of males that watch that interview, is the fact that this notion of threatening to sue women that have made allegations, trying to vilify these women that are making allegations, I think that what men don't get is that women view that completely different than men. Women view that as an attack on women in general. And I think that sort of technique, that sort of attitude, to the extent that it is attributable to a particular campaign, pervades the campaign, is going to have very disastrous consequences on the election.
Well, let's take a break. And then I would like to talk about, and I want to be clear in case some of you don't come back, I've never had any sexual allegations against me, but when you work in a large environment and there's an HR department and you are holding people accountable, people tend to reach for straws to get you in trouble to prevent them from taking the eye off of them. So let's take a break and we'll come back about false accusations and how I personally feel about it. Be right back. We might disagree. Brian and John.
Trigger Talent's course covers the mandated curriculums of Illinois and Florida. Our facility allows for a safe, professional, comfortable in any weather shooting environment. We utilize a variety of law enforcement targets to illustrate the best shot placement for stopping threats. Our advanced course, CCW Plus, is the only in the state to offer training from a real vehicle in road rage, carjacking, and parking lot scenarios. Over 1,400 people have trusted Trigger Talent to be their choice in concealed carry and advanced instruction. Shouldn't you also?
You walk onto this campus and it feels as though you're at an Ivy League institution.
It is cultured in so many ways. You would never know that it is a 2-year college.
This place is truly amazing. I love going to school here.
It is definitely not like any other community college.
If you're looking for a way for your life to change, then Lewis and Clark is the place for you to be.
Welcome to Claywell Asset Management, an independent firm. Whether you're an individual, family, or business, we can assist you in helping you achieve your financial dreams. Claywell Asset Management and Raymond James, partners in your success in serving Riverbend investors for over 30 years. Member FINRA and SIPC.
At Midwest Members Credit Union, you are important. We work hard to ensure you have the best banking experience possible. Whether you are inquiring about opening a savings account or wanting to learn more about a loan, our professionals are here to help you with any questions, and we will walk you through every step of the process. Since opening our doors in 1935, we've never forgotten that our members are our most important asset, which is why we continue to excel. For all your banking needs, Midwest Members is the one place to go.
Time clock here. All right, we are back. We might disagree. Brian and John, producers dressed up. We're in color. Things seem to be going pretty smooth. So look at that, man. Look at that. So, all right, in my last job, you know, and what's interesting, this time in the job I have now, I have nobody that answers to me. It's so weird. I'm over 5 states, about 45 different locations, and nobody answers to me. It's kind of nice. I don't have to write reviews. I don't have to do anything. But when you are in a large environment and there's law and order, you know, there's processes and things and, you know, attendance and whatever the case may be, you start holding people accountable. And I'll use an example, and I don't want to, I'm leery to use it, but I worked in a predominantly African-American place for a while. And high turnover rate, because for me, I have a work ethic and I follow the rules to the T. I don't have a whole lot of, you know, I don't have a whole lot of
sympathy.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I have sympathy, not wrong word. You know, if it says
tolerance,
yeah. I mean, we work. We come to work, we work. We're having a bad day, we have a bad day, but you can't have 10 bad days out of 10 bad days. And anyway, I was getting all these. I'm a racist. And the first time I heard that, the first time I got an EEOC complaint against me, I was literally in tears. It devastated me because I'm not a racist at all. It got so bad that they sent a guy in to walk with me. You know, black guy. And this was during the 2008 election, okay? So, okay, Mr. Esparza's on the show and watching the show. What's going on, Steven? So I'm going to give a shout out to him. So anyway, turned out when they dug in, you know, I had the terminations were far more towards white people, and the ratio to white-black was different. My point is that when people can just say anything they want, there has to be some form of accountability. Now, I never retaliate. I don't do that. I learn to deal with it. I respect it. But at the end of the day, you can't just say somebody grabbed you. You know, if a woman said to me, if a woman went and said, Brian sexually assaulted me or Brian grabbed me here, I would come at that woman with everything I have. I have a wife and children. You're not going to make that allegation against me. I had people on Facebook call me racist, and you know, clearly they don't know me, okay, or they would never say that. So I don't take that too personal. But to say that I physically touched somebody that I did not touch, oh, we're going to war. I'm calling my lawyers. I'm getting my producers. I'm getting Steven Esparza. I'm bringing everybody in. You know, that's so I get it, and I think Trump should. You can't just say things like that. You can't just make those accusations, man. We got to put a stop to that.
But have you ever heard of SLAPP lawsuits? SLAPP lawsuits are basically lawsuits that are designed to put people out of business, to silence people with differing opinions. Because the thing about Trump is that most people that go up against him do not have the resources to fight that battle. And he does that sort of thing with a lot of frequency. That's why, you know, when I start talking about the high number of lawsuits that he files, in addition to the high number of lawsuits that he's been, you know, where he's been sued, I mean, there is a certain threshold there that is beyond normal and reasonable.
But just to play devil's advocate, people also see money, and they can just go after him for money.
I'm sure that there are people that do that. I'm sure it happens all the time. Yeah, that's unfortunately it's a byproduct of our legal system.
Well, I just think that if you're going to make an accusation against somebody, and if it's false, if the accusation is false, you should be held accountable for that. I'm sorry, I just, you know.
What do you think about the situation? And I don't know. I go back and forth about this because it would have some collateral consequences that, you know, we need to think through. But part of me thinks that if someone falsely accuses someone of rape, that they should be sentenced to the same sentence that the person who was sentenced and convicted of rape.
Well, that's kind of an eye for an eye type of thing. Yeah. That's kind of an Old Testament. I'm not really into that. I will tell you this: when I was going through my divorce, And
It doesn't seem like a liberal viewpoint.
no, it doesn't. It's an interesting viewpoint.
Hey, every once in a while, I'm going to throw you off.
You know, here's the thing, and this is where
I'm not saying that I want that as my official policy, but I'm mulling it over in my mind.
I don't know what the accountability looks like. To me, I think in this situation with Trump, if it was to be found that he did not do these things, they should have to publicly go on TV and say, I lied about what happened and what took place. I think because that would right the wrong. You don't need to go to jail. Because most people, by the way, are.
But how are you going to prove it one way or the other?
Well, I don't know, and that's why it's a non-factor.
Right.
Now, the news has to report it, and I get that, okay? But where I get stuck is we're seeing factual emails that are coming across on Hillary Clinton that are in the DNC that are horrific. And we know these to be fact. And they're spending more time on possibilities of what may or may not have happened 15, 20 years ago or 30 years ago on an airplane. They're spending 35, 40 minutes on that and 10 minutes on something that we know to be true. And that's where I get stuck. Report on Trump's grabbing of whatever he grabbed or whatever he said, and report it, but also report on the other and be fair about it. And then read the email that was just released. And I'll tell you what, and John, I've had this conversation before. To me, if WikiLeaks wouldn't exist if the media did their job, plain and simple.
Well, but you also have to understand that WikiLeaks stole the emails.
I don't care. They wouldn't. But if the media did their job 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
But my point is that they have access to information that cannot probably be lawfully obtained. In some instances, anyway.
So, hang on. Because we've been down this road before. I'm having like a deja vu moment. So if I committed a murder and I had a body in my house and somebody broke into my house and the police came and grabbed that person for breaking into my house and they found the body, I don't get charged with murder?
I didn't say that.
Well, you did basically. Well, they're illegal.
I don't understand your analogy.
So if the police come to my house illegally and find a body, I can't be charged for it?
What I'm saying is that you're complaining that the media is not doing their job. One of the things that restrains the media and its reporting is that it can only resort to lawful means to obtain information. And so the fact that WikiLeaks, and frankly, WikiLeaks isn't the one that got the information. The Russians got the information.
We don't even know that.
We know that it's no. We know from from internet provider and other sorts of information that the best thinking, that I think some of the 17 of the top intelligence officials that have looked at the question, I think concur that it's coming from Russia. So Russia is obtaining this information and they're giving it to a third party. Now, I will say to the credit of WikiLeaks, it appears that most, and I don't say all, but most of the emails that have been presented seem to be authentic. And I think that they're mindful of the fact that if they put out too many false emails, then their credibility is going to be shot. People won't listen to them. But, I think that if your complaint is that the press isn't doing their job, I think you at least owe it to the press to say, because they're complying with the law and don't have access to illegally.
But we've got an email, John, where CNN is tied in directly to the DNC and relaying questions about an upcoming.
You're talking about the Donald in Brazil? Mm-hmm. And I think she said like a very obvious question, mentioned something to Hillary about it.
That's just one thing. I mean, I think at this point, you got to be realistic. We don't, and somebody said this to me today, and I said I would bring it up on the show because they're like, "You doing the show?" I'm like, "Yeah." They go, "Well, answer me this. Think about all the things we know." I'm like, "Right." He goes, "It's really bad." And this is a diehard Democrat. Okay, this person's like devastated over this because this person, she thinks they're going to be set back for years. And I'm like, "You are." So, but she said, what's going on that we don't know? And I'm like, well, that's the thing. We don't know what we don't know.
Right.
And I said, I think to just to be fair, because I try to always be fair, I'm sure there's some of this stuff going on in the RNC as well. So, but it hasn't been exposed yet, and it may or may not come out. But again, if the media would just do their job and dig in and hold both people accountable, both parties to the fire, give a Chris Wallace type of interview, or a debate. Give us a good debate. Instead, they don't. They pick sides, and Fox, they don't like Donald Trump. I've told you that. Krauthammer doesn't like Donald Trump, and he'll tell you, man, they're not. I'm not, of all the news media, I think Fox is probably the most unbiased, but they do lean right. I know that. I mean, they do lean right. But they're tearing Trump apart. They are ripping him apart. There's Juan Williams. I mean, other than Bill O'Reilly, now Sean Hannity is all about Trump. He loves Trump.
He drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but but when you watch a Bill O'Reilly or a Rachel Maddow, you know what you're watching.
Right.
You're watching. You're not watching news. You're watching entertainment. So when you're looking at the news, now like Shepard Smith, for instance, hates Trump, bashes him all the time, and I wish he'd stop, because I always looked at Shepard Smith kind of as a news reporter, I don't want your opinion, I want the news, and I'm sure it's hard. I'm sure it's hard to not have an opinion in those positions. You know what I mean? Because I know you have one, but I've had my opinion before on people. I mean, we talk about O.J. Simpson trial. It still comes up. I can't believe people still talk about that. But I wouldn't have convicted O.J. Simpson sitting on that jury,
right.
even though I believe in my heart he is guilty of that crime.
Was it beyond a reasonable doubt?
It wasn't beyond a reasonable doubt, and I am not going to send a man to prison for the rest of his life or to death, which I would never do, based on reasonable. I'll be honest with you. If I don't see it, I'm not convicting anybody. So, but. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I gave Bill Clinton the benefit of the doubt when, in fact, I hated Newt Gingrich when he went after Bill Clinton, because I felt like you're putting a bad light on America, and this is embarrassing for America. But in the end, he was right, and it bummed me out. Because I liked Bill Clinton. I mean, I think Bill Clinton would be a Republican today if he was running on the same ticket. I mean, him and Trump sound like they say the same stuff. It's kind of crazy how the things have flipped. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know. I just, if you're gonna make accusations like that at a time like this, you should be held accountable for it. If they're not the truth. Now, if they're the truth, then there needs to be accountability on Donald Trump. Now, what do you do for somebody kissing somebody? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
The thing that's interesting about this is, and I'm not one for gossip columns, but there's a woman, Meg Smith or something like that. There's a woman that's been a gossip columnist in New York for like 40 years, and she's known Donald Trump for the whole time. And Trump is, as people know, he uses the media to highlight what he's doing, and he gets free publicity.
He's smart. Yeah, he's a smart man.
Yeah, he leverages it.
Very good marketing guy.
He leverages it. And so what's interesting, her opinion and the opinion of other people, is that people in New York City have known what Donald Trump has been all about for years, and they're dismayed that America doesn't see what they've seen for these past 40 years. When Bloomberg talks about, he's like, among the real billionaires, we don't regard Donald Trump as being a real billionaire. And everybody knows his business model is he tries to screw people and his contractors, and, so I always find it interesting to try to go back to where people come from. And I think that you can make similar criticisms. For example, an excellent question people should ask is, why isn't Arkansas pro-Hillary? I think that's a reasonable question for people to ask. Why is it that where these people have spent a majority or a very long period of their time or important period of their life not voting for them? I think that's a question we should ask all the time.
It is. It's so we are getting towards the end of our time here. I do want to say something. So, you and I have gone back and forth a little bit on cities versus the country, people on the hills voting for Trump. There's been comments about uneducated white men and all that.
I've made some of those.
Yeah. Listen, and they're all part of politics, and it's all fun and games, but I've done some travel in the past few weeks, and I've seen one Hillary sign. It's on the top of State Street Hill there on the corner. That's the only one I've seen. Okay, I have a Trump sign in my yard, and I would encourage you not to come near it because, well, I've got 13 of them. I got one for every day until the end of the the end of the thing. But there might be something bad happen to you if you come into my yard. So, what I will say is this: is as I drive through, and I went up to Carbondale the other day, And as I drove through, it took me down 48. I don't know all the names, all those little small towns. All I saw was all these Trump signs. They're everywhere. I mean, they're just everywhere. Big ones, small ones, side of trucks. There's a tractor on 55 with his bucket up, says Trump on it. And I asked myself, do I want, who am I as an American? Am I a city person? Who, am I an educated elite person who we say is voting for Hillary? Or am I the uneducated white guy that just works hard every day and loves his country? And that's who I am. I love all of America. I love even the illegal immigrants. I love you. You're a person. You're breathing. The Syrian people, even you bad guys. I love you. I don't have hate in me. But I'm voting for Trump because I think at the end of the day, he's gonna bring it together. He's gonna help some stuff. Hillary Clinton, in my heart, I want Hillary to win because it's gonna be such a disaster. And it's going to be such a mess. She'll be impeached just like her husband.
I thought you said you didn't have hate in your heart.
I don't have hate, but I just want America to win again. And we're not winning under Obama. We're losing big time. Big time. I mean, so if you believe that Russia is hacking the DNC, and I'm not in that category, I don't believe that. But if that is in fact happening, that's a problem. That's a problem worth an airstrike. That's a problem worth some kind of economic accountability. You don't tamper in American politics, okay? You don't do it. So if it is Russia, and you believe that, you just said that earlier, then there's got to be a cap. But this guy running the show now, he's so weak and pathetic. And
he's actually there. It was interesting that because they did an interview with Joe Biden, I think on Hardball with Chris Matthews, and he basically asked him sort of that issue, and Biden, who's on the inside, obviously said, our best information says that clearly this is done by the Russians. And Matthews said, so are you going to do something about it? And he had this look on his face like he just swallowed a canary. And he said, words to the effect of, in our own way, in our own place, in our own time, it will be, they will clearly get the message that this is not appropriate. And then Matthews said, well, we know about it. And he said, hopefully not. So this
that's kind of like the red line in the sand in Syria. I'm sorry, this administration has no credibility with me. They're only in Iraq right now, and this is personal for me, okay? Because I lost my brother in Iraq, okay? My brother gave his life for that, okay? So when I saw ISIS, which is a creation of this administration, when I saw ISIS take Fallujah and Mosul and all these other cities that we lost hundreds of American men and women in. And now he's doing something. He's only doing something about it now because he wants to leave the office with some of it cleaned up. If he wasn't leaving, he still wouldn't be doing anything. And it just drives me crazy. And if you believe that Russia, then no. We as Americans, Joe Biden, I want to see it. I want to see it. But you got nothing. You're running this. This is all you do. Hillary Clinton, she ain't gonna, what's the relationship with Russia going to be like if she's president? Hey, Putin, sorry, man. I'm just trying to get elected. You know what I mean? I have more flexibility after the next one. Oh, we heard that from Obama. Remember that? Yeah, he gave some flexibility, didn't he?
On nuclear disarmament.
Yeah, or Crimea, or Syria, or now he's partnering. I think there's how many countries now? Egypt's also going. We've got the Philippines going over there with them now with Russia. They're just taking over the world.
Philippines aren't going with Russia. They're going with China, and they're going with China because China has basically bribed them. They're giving them more money than the United States.
Because they have
more.
But
they still have the same military commitments and obligations, and so the net effect is not going to have much impact on the United States.
I just think that, Joe Biden to say that's a great one-liner for his, I suppose.
He didn't say a word. It was just the look on his face.
There's nothing there, dude. They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing. They're not.
See, one thing that people don't understand is that people have this misconception that somehow Russia is the former Soviet Union. Russia.
They're trying to be.
They're trying to be.
They're trying to be.
They are the weak sister of what the Soviet Union used to be, and the Russian economy is not that strong. And frankly, to try to give them some sort of equal footing to the United States is laughable. I mean, look at the number of ships. Look at the number of fighters, of aircraft carriers. Look at the entire war chest of the United States.
Listen,
and it's incomparable.
So, which is even more pathetic that we're allowing them to do what they're doing. It's even more pathetic. It makes us look even dumber. I'm sorry. This president is an embarrassment. And by the way, just so you all know, anytime our president fails, we fail. So if you think I wish Hillary Clinton to go in office and fail, I don't, because I fail. But I know she's going to fail because I've seen the emails, and I know what's going to come after the emails. There's going to come this Republican attack, and the media will turn on her too, by the way, as they turned on Bill Clinton. They will eventually, because it'll be the story. There won't be a Donald Trump out there, so it'll be the story. And it's going to be a bigger embarrassment. And
you promise there'll be a day when we don't have to hear from Donald Trump anymore?
I think Donald Trump's going to win the presidency. So in Cleveland, does anybody know anything about Cleveland?
I do.
Okay, so what is the population makeup of Cleveland, Ohio, roughly? White versus Hispanic versus.
Talking about downtown?
Yeah, Cleveland City.
Oh, it's mostly African American.
Right. So do you know what Mitt Romney polled in 2012 in Cleveland? What percentage of African Americans went with him?
Probably 10.
9. Good guess. Do you know where Trump's at?
Probably 24.
27. So
you thought I was just another pretty face.
I did. You've been doing some homework. So my point is these polls are showing the.
But Brian, can I fast forward because we're running out of time? If anyone who follows my Facebook page knows that I posted this months ago, and I did the analysis. And in my analysis, I gave Trump Florida. I gave Trump Ohio. I gave him, all of the typical states. I gave him Iowa.
What about Pennsylvania?
But I didn't give him Pennsylvania.
I think he's going to win Pennsylvania.
I think he's 7 points down in Pennsylvania today. And if you also listen to what I've been saying, I did predict that the race will get closer. I think it'll probably get down to, you get the margin of error of 3 or 4%, and probably, it's probably going to be a point or two beyond that. So it's probably going to be somewhere 4-ish, 5-ish% by election day. I do think it's going to be close, but the question that I asked back in April, and the question that I asked people today, give me the states. Tell me the states that Trump's going to win. And
I think he's going to take North Carolina too. And I didn't. And I'll tell you what. A month ago, I thought, no way.
Well, he has to have North Carolina.
Yeah.
If he loses North Carolina, if he loses Utah, if he loses North Carolina,
there it is. That's a state that never mattered before, ever in the history of elections, is going to be the difference maker in this election.
Yeah.
Utah. And there's that ding dong
Evan McCain.
You say I'm going to vote for, and I'm not.
You will.
I was. No.
You're going to look him up.
I've already looked him up. I like the guy.
Yeah.
I like the guy. The problem is he's got no shot at winning. And
well, his theory on winning, and it's interesting, very briefly, his point is if he wins, if he wins Utah, then that could potentially, if it's a close race, deny Hillary 270 and Trump 270, and there's no way that...
I didn't see that angle.
So then it would go to the House. The House, not big fans of Donald Trump, they have a chance... as in terms of a brokered sort of deal, he thinks there's potential that he could emerge as the President of the United States as some sort of brokered deal. Now, he will admit that that's a very rare possibility, but it's an interesting sort of thing.
Paul Ryan's an idiot, and we can probably both agree with that.
I don't think the man's an idiot. I think
you can't take...
He sometimes says some things that he probably shouldn't, but who doesn't?
But you can't take, on either side, you can't take 100 million votes. And it's like, screw you. We're picking this guy. You can't do that. No way. No way that.
See, I look at it the exact opposite. I think that the election is so contentious that people say, well, we can't pick one of these two polar opposites because the consequences would be so dire. Is there an alternative? And the only person who to win electoral college votes would be the guy from Utah, and so he'd be the only person they could consider. I don't think it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but it's interesting. It's interesting to talk about.
Well, I will give Hillary Clinton kudos for not having a glimpse not even a glimmer of embarrassment on her face when she shows it after everything we know about her, and she still sticks it in. And I give Donald Trump kudos for just having probably the largest attack ever launched on a presidential candidate, and that dude gets up and doesn't budge and doesn't change a bit. So he can afford to. I mean, I think they both have some quality there, you know. I mean, listen, people bash Hillary, but you know what? It's good that she's not fazed by this.
That's
a good quality,
like
man.
when people say, you know, that everybody that's crossed Hillary Clinton is dead, it's like, wow, if she were that effective, maybe we should give her more credit for being an effective leader. But I think here's what's going to happen in terms of the historical view of this election. Regardless of which way it goes, I think if Hillary loses, what they're going to say is, you had a 12-point lead with 4 minutes left, and you played four corners, and you never took a shot, and you lost by 2 or 3 points. If Donald Trump loses, what they're going to say is, why couldn't the Donald Trump that's been on the stump for the last week or so, where was that guy, and why wasn't he doing that in May and June and July and August and September? And he waits until, you know, a third of the votes have already been cast to try to recalibrate and become a normal politician. And so, you know, frankly, whoever loses, Hillary only has herself to blame. If Trump loses, he only has himself to blame.
I agree with that. And I will tell you this, and I've been saying this to a lot of people, I'll take either one of these two over the guy I'm running the show now. I'll take either one of these two.
I could not disagree with you.
I will. Obama, I can't even stand to hear his voice anymore. Now, I do like his wife. I have become a Michelle Obama fan over the last 6 years or so. I think she's done some good things.
Particularly with military families.
Yes. Listen, I respect Michelle Obama, okay? I hope I don't see her running for office. We got to stop this. The Kennedy thing ruined America. But, you know, these Bushes and Kennedys and Clintons, and now, no, it's not how this works. You know, what I will say is this, though. Obama has done so much damage to this country. I don't know if we can repair the damage that I consider damage. You may like some of it. I don't know. I mean, that's where we differ. But
I think
we're talking about abroad as much as anything.
When historians 30 years from now review the Obama presidency, I think that they will not treat Republicans kindly. I think that there will be some merited criticism of Obama himself for opportunities lost. But I also think that the lockstep obstructionism of Obama's policies on a level that's never been seen in American politics before, I think that history will not treat the Republicans
But you know what?
kindly.
I respect those obstructions.
I understand
I do, because you know what? I mean, Obama doesn't think about me when he's making these laws and waving his pen across his executive orders. We've talked about this a million times, and I'll go all day because I pride myself on being a very good leader. And you and I had bad day, and I reached out to you to try to repair that.
Sure.
You know, I mean,
you did.
I did. I mean, that's hard to do. I have a lot of pride. You
After
guys
a 1 week cooling period, by the way.
but I agreed to it.
You did.
You said,
but that was smart, don't you think? In retrospect,
at the end of the day, it was whatever you wanted, as I was okay with, because I was reaching out to you, and I knew that I had crossed the line and upset you, and that I was working with you, and that is how we work as people. You know, you don't unfriend people, you don't call people names, you don't criticize. If you vote for Hillary Clinton, vote for Hillary Clinton. I don't care, man. You earned that right. My great uncle died in World War II. My grandfather got a Bronze Star in Guadalcanal. My other grandfather was in World War II. Was an underwater welder in World War II. Come on, in the Navy. My dad's in the Navy. My uncles were in the Navy. My brother was killed in Iraq. My family has given tremendous for you to go vote. Vote.
My grandfather was a tail gunner in World War II. Got shot down in the Pacific,
right,
and had injuries. And
unfortunately,
was one of the early precursors of pain management faux pas in terms of he got hooked on drugs and other kinds of stuff.
It's back that far, huh?
Yeah. But because back then I didn't know and understand any of it.
So at the end of the day, go vote. And we're going to survive whoever wins.
Right.
Survive. We're going to survive the last whatever. You know, I just, people are worried about the Supreme Court. You know, listen, what's important is, I would say, and like with me, you got to have a balance. And if you got, I like a balance of power.
Can I talk a little bit, just briefly?
Yeah,
about
let's
the
do the last
Supreme
word actually,
Court?
because we're over our hour. So why don't you take your last word and go for 5 minutes?
And let me talk. I'll just use it for the Supreme Court. And there aren't a whole lot of things that I know a great deal about, but I do know a great deal about the Supreme Court. That's what I've studied most of my life. And what's funny to me is the angst of Republicans in terms of the status of the Supreme Court and the state of liberty and so forth. And if I can offer an olive branch to my brothers and sisters on the Republican side of the aisle, is that because knowing the court the way that I do, you have to realize that, for example, the ability to predict essentially the opinions of a Supreme Court justice are severely limited. And I'll give you a couple of interesting examples. Roe versus Wade was written in 1973 by Justice Blackmun. Justice Blackmun was appointed by Nixon. So you have one of the most conservative presidents who appointed what he thought was a conservative person, and he's the author of Roe versus Wade. You have Justice Kennedy, who's now the swing vote. He was appointed by Republicans. And to some extent, he is a conservative, but I think some of the other conservatives on the court have made him look centrist. So the notion that you can predict what a justice is going to do and what they're going to say and what opinions they're going to write, it's a crapshoot at best. The best thing you can do is hopefully you nominate people that are smart, that are open-minded, that will listen to the case. And I will say that, one thing that people who are not students of the court often lose sight of is that they don't understand the thing about law is it's decided on very specific facts. Like the Terry versus Ohio case, the stop and frisk case. Well, that case was based upon the specific fact of an officer having a reasonable fear for their own safety, which made an exception to the requirements for a warrant and those kinds of things. And so all of these cases tend to hinge on very particularized facts, and that's the way law is in general. And so the notion that somehow the Supreme Court's going to come on the court and they're going to make these huge sweeping changes just isn't very likely. First off, the court only hears, even the Roberts Court, which by any objective measure in terms of the number of times they grant certiorari to hear a case, compared to like the Rehnquist Court or the Berger Court or the Warren Court, it's probably about half. So they're not taking that many cases to begin with. So their impact on cases is really, really minimized.
Can I ask you a question? I'm interrupt you.
Absolutely.
I just want to ask this. So
Absolutely.
Hillary's, going around saying, and this is and I think it's just I think it's a campaign button pusher. I don't think it's real. Other than her husband made some attempts in the 90s talking about going after the Second Amendment and using the Supreme Court to do it. For me, I don't take that as real. I don't think the Supreme Court would ever go that far. That's such a far reach. I mean, it keeps America safe, for one thing. It keeps. I mean, if you think about it, there's more guns in American houses than in most foreign militaries. So, and I don't think people really look at it that way, but our enemies do. You think about invading America, you got neighbors with guns. But what are your thoughts on that? And because people are going to ask me that question. They're going to listen to what you say. They're going to say, well, Brian, you didn't bring up the Second Amendment, and it's a fair question. Because she is you saying it.
I don't think that there's a need to do it, because I get the Heller decision, and I've actually read it, unlike most people. I've read the Heller decision.
I attempted. I didn't understand 90% of the words in it.
Okay, well, that's fair. I'll get you a coloring book version, and we'll sit down. We'll go through it.
Please, dumb it down.
But the Heller decision, if you read it, what it says is that the government has the authority to make reasonable regulations to govern the use and licensing and the procedures with respect to ownership of guns. What they said, where they drew the line in the sand is they said you can't have an outright ban. That the Second Amendment, with respect to the ownership of a weapon inside a person's house, is inviolate. And so, you could not, in D.C. and Chicago, you could not impose an absolute ban. So there's still plenty of room. And frankly, the Clintons are far too astute politically to want to alienate rural voters in Pennsylvania, for example, on trying to go too far with the Second Amendment. It makes no sense for them to do
Bernie
that.
Sanders drew, and that's why when you talk about Pennsylvania earlier, you got to remember that exchange between Bernie Sanders and her during the primary, and he was like, I would not ever do that, because she wants to put gun manufacturers be held accountable. And that draws right into the Northeast, man. Those people hunt, and you can't do that. I think where is Henry rifles made? Aren't they up in the Northeast?
I don't know.
Anyway, what we got, Buzz? So
okay.
You want a last word, or is that your last word, or?
I want to say I'd like to find out where our producer's going dressed so spiffy.
I think he's back, and I think it was. Can I say what it was?
Sure.
Growth Association dinner.
Oh, the RiverBend Growth Association.
RiverBend Growth Association dinner. He participates well in.
Isn't that
State of the RiverBend luncheon?
Is that house still here at the RiverBender?
No, that's at Lewis and Clark.
Oh, Lewis and Clark.
It's in Godfrey.
Okay,
it's awesome. So listen, let's get a good show next week, and then we're going to try to put something together the week after, 2 days after the election. We'll need to bring some people on to just have
let people sober up, dry out, and post-bond and all that stuff.
And then we're going to spend right after that. We're going to go. John and I I'm going to reach out to some friends on Facebook. We really want to. We talked this before the show, even yesterday, with heroin and drugs, and we want to just talk about that. And then we've got local. We've reached out to all the Altonian mayoral candidates, and we're going to be bringing them on. And one of the things that I want to put on the show, and I want to personally go talk to them about, is Gordon Moore Park. It's a disaster.
Well, there's another initiative out there for Gordon Moore Park.
Isn't it to put another entrance in, though?
No, I'm not exactly sure. There's a meeting coming up from a group called Light Up Alton. And they're meeting out there. Maybe you can post the dates when you find out when it is. I want to say it's
can
first
we do
week in November.
There?
I think it's the first week in November or something. There's a gathering for people to maybe invest in the park a little bit.
Here's the thing. So my kids play soccer out there, and my brother even has a tree out there. Governor Quinn actually came down and dedicated the tree. It's pretty cool. But if you go back to when we were in high school, John, I don't think Gordon Moore was around when you were in high school. But
I rode a Triceratops this week.
That was the premier soccer park in the area, and that's why you had Holiday Inn, and that's why you had all these hotels, because people would come in for these tournaments. My son plays for Alton. Two of my sons play for Alton Fighting Irish. Our home games are in Maryland Heights, and they play on turf. We do some grass, but they're not even allowed to play at Gordon Moore. My oldest son, and they also play Park and Rec. We still contribute to them. The fields are horrible. There's moles running through the soccer fields. How do you have a 15 or 16-year-old kid running at full speed, 12, 13, 14 miles an hour? And they play football out there too, running over moles. You're going to break an ankle. There's no grass. It's a mess. And the fences are broke. It's disgusting. The roof on the concession stand and each roof. I mean, it's just. I'm upset about it because it's again. I'm seeing. I'm not taking a shot at our current mayor, but I'm seeing all this stuff, road construction going on, and the thing that helps pay for those roads is being neglected. We built this amazing high school. Alton High doesn't play out there anymore. They don't even go out to Gorman. They got their own soccer fields. And I get that, but we need to fix Gordon Moore Park. If Alton doesn't, I'm putting you on notice. I will go with Godfrey where the money is and pursue Godfrey to build a park, which, by the way, is already in progress of being done. And I know the mayor out there has visited was suggested two places to go look at for current parks, soccer parks. And I'll take some pictures of where my kid will be playing Saturday night under the lights, because there's no lights in most of the parks. Even Godfrey can't get lights on the ball diamonds out there, which takes away your church leagues and all the other stuff. So there's just a lot of possibility of growth in this local community that we're not addressing. And when we get past this ridiculous election into 9-10 days, whatever it is, John and I, or at least myself, and I'm sure my partner will run with me, we're going to go hog wild on Alton. And I know with John's support, our producer, RiverBender, we can get something done and get some stuff fixed for our kids. My kids are going to be moving on, but there's kids. I got grandkids hopefully coming up. Drew, hear that, Drew, Kimmy, grandkids? So that's final word. Is that good? You good with that? I never get final word. I could have talked much full time. We'll see you next week, okay? Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank
Bye.
You walk onto this campus and it feels as though you're at an Ivy League institution.
It is cultured in so many ways. You would never know that it is a 2-year college.
This place is truly amazing. I love going to school here.
It is definitely not like any other community college.
If you're looking for a way for your life to change, then Lewis and Clark is the place for you to be.
Welcome to Claywell Asset Management, an independent firm. Whether you're an individual, family, or business, we can assist you in helping you achieve your financial dreams. Claywell Asset Management and Raymond James, partners in your success in serving Riverbend investors for over 30 years. Member FINRA and SIPC.
At Midwest Members Credit Union, you are important. We work hard to ensure you have the best banking experience possible. Whether you are inquiring about opening a savings account or wanting to learn more about a loan, our professionals are here to help you with any questions, and we will walk you through every step of the process. Since opening our doors in 1935, we've never forgotten that our members are our most important asset, which is why we continue to excel. For all your banking needs, Midwest Members is the one place to go.
Slow turn me down.
Slow turn me down. So,
I'm more of a concern.
You're more concerned. So, all right, a little background. So, John and I met a while back.